Welcome back to Impulse Plays. I am Crazy Carl Winter here with Ryan, Fire Guy, Marvin. Ryan, are you old enough to know the Office reference I'm referring to?
Of course. Yes, Carl.
Okay,
I've
good.
seen The Office many times.
Very good, very good. All right, how you doing?
I am doing great, Carl. We had our first snow yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I am a big winter fan. I've been skiing for 20 years. I am very, very
Mm.
excited. Very,
And
very excited.
yes, this is a good time of year for you. I get to shovel the driveway, so that's something else. But
Well,
yeah. Well, we've got a sweet matchup here that involves snow-related things, sort of, in that fire melts snow and there's rocks and snow. I don't know. We've got rock versus burn. This is actually Ryan playing against Nate, one of the gentlemen who's been dipping his toes into pre-modern locally. Nate was playing my rock list, which I will toss up here, and it's pretty different than the normal rock lists, right? Like, so Ryan, when you think of rock, you're expecting like pernicious deeds, recurring nightmares, but not so much blastoderms, right?
not really. No, I was pretty unhappy when the first Blastoderm went on the stack against
Mm-hmm.
me. Because Blastoderm in combination with the I forget the second name,
Ravenous
Ratavu, the
Baloth,
guy
yeah.
that's Rav yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sacrifice a beast, gain 4 life, which is pretty hard against a red deck that is
Mm-hmm.
flooding.
Yes, for
Um,
sure.
but you know what? I would expect nothing less from a deck with the Carl Winter stamp on it.
Exactly, exactly. And then we got your burn list, which is okay, four vortex and two scrolls and a bauble. Okay, yep, that is burn.
Yep,
Uh, yep.
it's a kind of weird hybrid of Dixburn and Lannyburn.
Yeah, I see there's only
Um,
two rings, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but
yeah,
list I
low on
had
the
played
land
before.
count, but
Mm-hmm.
I flood a lot,
That's fair.
and but I should be there should be four barbarian rings in there. I just don't have them yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. If you want an ugly one, I have an ugly one just as a heads up, but
Oh,
I'll set
okay,
aside
cool.
for you. You can use that until you find a healthy one to use. But
Merci, thank
let's
you.
say we get into this match. So we've got you on the left playing Burn, and Nate on the right playing Rock. And I'm looking at the formatting I used for the text on the screen, and I don't remember how I got to that point. So I'm gonna have to play around with my settings in DaVinci to figure out how
Okay.
I did that. But I think you start off on the play. I see a Jackal Pup. I see a mountain. That's about where you want to be. Um,
Yep.
Nate's rock list is a little bit different than typical rock lists. Again, like mentioned before, it has Blastoderms in it, but it doesn't play Birds of Paradise. So there's not a lot of very explosive openings you can. I mean, it's explosive you get for the rock, but you're
Hmm.
not doing much of them. Maybe casting a discard spell on turn one, which looks like he might be doing.
Yeah, it seems like there is a duress. I think it was. Nope, it's claw
Therapy naming
therapy.
Fire Blast. Okay. Oh,
Therapy
good job,
names
past Carl.
fire blast. All
Went back.
right, and he hits it.
Yep, which I guess we would have seen that anyway, but I'll still put myself on the back for that.
Yep.
And then so that's pretty huge for him. That takes out a ton of extra damage he has to deal with. But still got to deal with this pup. The unfortunate thing is that this rock list plays 8 walls, which is a lot of butts. And
Yeah.
I would not be surprised to see Nate drop a wall here. I'd actually be surprised to not see him drop a wall. Going down to 16. That Llanowar Waste is going to do a lot of damage to him this game
Yeah.
if he
I
doesn't
mean,
draw
it's
four
already
soon.
done two,
Yep.
which is it's a shock. It's
Yeah,
already
exactly. It's
shocked
a
him.
free card. It's a free card for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That said, Wall of Roots comes down, and Wall of Roots is not what you want to be seeing as the burn deck. Like it soaks 5 damage from a ball lightning, it eats an incinerate. Like that's just so much damage. That's so much damage being eaten
Yeah.
up. The walls,
Because
yeah,
at this point, unfortunately, I flashed the camera my other two mountains because
mm-hmm,
I have yet to draw a non-land spell.
right.
Yeah, 8 walls. The more walls, the better your game one is
Mm-hmm.
versus burn. And
This is
oh,
an interesting
there's a
choice here.
ball
Does
lightning.
he soak the damage from the ball lightning, or does he keep the wall around? Looks like he keeps the wall around. Okay, yeah, he's healthy enough. I could see that. Like he did
Yeah,
take one fire blast already. Um, Not drawing lands is a pretty poor choice on Nate's part here. I can't agree with that line of play, but um,
yeah. We're having
there,
fairly opposite issues.
exactly, yeah. But there is a fairly old tenet where that mana screw tends to beat out mana flood, just because eventually you get to cast a bunch of cards. Whereas mana flood, you just don't. So nice
Yeah.
incinerate. Unfortunately, it looks like you're gonna have to toss that at the wall of roots. Yeah, or wall blossoms. Man, that's what 10 damage has been eaten up by walls so far, so Nate would be dead if it weren't for the walls. Just straight up.
Yep, he sure wouldn't be. I mean, if
Yeah.
that was a, Birds of Paradise, then things would look
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit different.
Yes, yes, it would. Phyrexian Rager comes down. Also, it eats a burn spell and replaces itself. Not bad.
Yeah,
I'm a
for the
big
low,
fan of
low
Phyrexian
cost of
Rager.
one life.
Yeah, which is it's. I mean, it's not nothing in burn against burn, but oh, it eats a bolt too. Jeez. Okay,
Yeah.
but you get him down to
But
6.
an interesting thing here, though, is that if I had just gone upstairs with a burn,
Mm-hmm.
Nate would be at 3. So
Mm-hmm.
I I tend to sometimes be a bit more into the kill my opponent's stuff, kill my
Right.
opponent's creatures with burn spells and then attack them with creatures.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
yeah, pretty typical burn etiquette. Like you use your burn spells to keep your repeatable damage sources on the table.
yeah.
Oh boy, that's a lot of spells. That is a lot of spells, and he gets to see your mana flood firsthand.
Yep. And
You get to hard cast
yeah,
Fire
ball
Blast now.
lightning that will trade there.
Okay, yeah, they're both 4 toughness, so takes 1, 2, going to 3.
Yep.
Ooh, that's iffy. I have a feeling he's gonna draw a Ravenous Bailoff here, and that's gonna be really ungood for you.
Yeah, there definitely were a lot of Ravenous Baloth cast in this
Mm-hmm.
match. That's
Yeah, that's really
we're
what he
starting.
needs to have to get back into this game. Otherwise, he's gonna be kind of SOL. So you just have to draw
Yeah.
a Bolter and Incinerate, and the game's over. Yeah, Ravenous Bailoff is
Hmm.
huge. So
There
he
it is.
passes here, which I don't know that I agree with because like obviously you can like bolt him and he can sack in response, but if you sandbag the burn spell, go to your next turn, draw another burn spell, that could put him in danger of dying. Because like you could
Hmm.
say you draw like shock or bolt this turn, right? You then draw incinerate next turn. Unless he plays another Bailoth or another beast, the stack will get him.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. And like even I was thinking about the scenario if I draw Sulfuric Vortex,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's huge.
and
Yeah.
then burn spell, back
Mm-hmm.
to back, then yeah, like you said, it would result in my swift and untimely death.
Yeah. Oh, Nate is. I mean, to Nate's credit, like he does need to kill you at some point. So,
Oh, of
looks
course.
like he's at recurring nightmare. Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah,
I still have some regrets over
that'll
not getting those signed at Eternal Weekend, but that's okay. Yeah, that's good. You're gonna
ah well.
pack it in there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Sorry, you're resolving a mold to 6. Looks like Nate is keeping his hand. And did I forget to put the score back up on the screen? Looks like I forgot to put the score back up on the screen. That's not bad. Oh no, I put it up after the mulligan. Okay, that's weird. I don't like how that looks. I'll have to fix that later. Fix that another
Yeah.
time. Next time I do a recording on like this. But that's a pretty good 6 though. You've got Price of Progress, Pup, Lands, Bolt, I think I see there. Oh no, that's a Grimlock Mancer. Okay, so you're putting Mogfanac on. Yeah, Mogfanac is not terribly exciting against the 8 wall 4 Blaststorm 4 Ravenous Baloth deck.
Yep. Completely agree. Because otherwise, well, against a unused Wall of Roots,
Mm-hmm.
the only card that can, allow me to trade for it is Fire Blast, which I really
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be casting so I can get my Mog Fanatic through.
Yeah.
But also against a Wall of Blossoms,
Yeah.
I have to have one of my 3 damage burn spells, and
Right.
then it's
Right.
still only 1 per turn compared to
Exactly.
Jackal
Yeah.
Pup, which is 2.
Yeah. 2 is a lot bigger than 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
The
Nate's. Yeah.
Magic players aren't very good at math, but I think most of them can tell the difference between 1 and 2.
Typically, yeah. So Nate's able to strip out a Price of Progress here, which I mean the deck only has, I say quote unquote only has 9 non-basics, but the
Yeah.
second non-basic comes out here turns it into Fire Blast. So it's a non-zero chance of that happening, and that can represent a lot of damage to Nate that he's gonna have to deal with. That said,
Hmm.
you are unfortunately missing some land drops. I mean, you still have stuff to play, which is great, but um, you got to deploy. Especially deploying that curse scroll is gonna be so huge.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
And
yep,
there's Ravenous Baloth.
that is tough. Yeah, that just shuts down the aggression right there.
Yep. And I believe that was an Incinerate there, so
That was yeah, so
I
not castable.
imagine
So it looks like you're
probably
just.
it's Curse Scroll
But
time.
yeah, I think you're thinking about the curse scroll because like you could drop it, and if Nate draws Deed, he just 4 for 1s you here, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Ooh, okay, you're going for it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, you got to get cards out of your hand with a critical roll anyway, so there's nothing. I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the Ravenous Baloth and the Wall,
Mm-hmm.
the Jackal Pup and Grim Lavamancer's are really not doing much anyway.
Yeah,
So, even yes, it is technically a 4-for-1,
yeah.
but my between my three creatures,
They're all blanked
Nate would
anyway.
have to
Yeah,
attack me, and I would be able to get in for two. So
yeah,
it's not great,
yeah. Looks like he attacked
but
here, but he must have
completely
another creature.
correcto. Yeah,
Let's see,
3 mana.
recurring nightmare. Okay, yeah.
Uh, Recurring Nightmare. Yep.
I feel like
Sacked
when I play
thing.
Rock, I never draw recurring nightmare. Like, I know there's only two, but like he's had it 2 games in a row. That seems kind of unfair. Um,
It's pretty good. Him being able to gain, 4 life,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and then gain another 4 life.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty nice. I really want to try
And
it. I
then
need to get another
naturalized
deranged
reverse.
hermit, and I want to try and slot in a deranged hermit over probably the Croson Tusker. I don't know. Croson Tusker's pretty sweet though. So
Frozen Tusker is a one of my favorite cards in Pauper Cube.
yeah, yep,
It's a Pauper Cube All Star to be sure, of just green piles.
yeah, makes
Oh,
sense.
I love it.
Oh man, he got to gain 4 life and crash in, and now the Blaster Arm comes out, and that is that is really really not good for you. It's impossible to
Yeah,
deal with, and it represents
it's
a 19-point life swing.
yeah, not looking great.
Yeah, you're doing your game best, where you toss out your spells and your damage where you can, and that's just sometimes what happens with burn, like or just any game in general. Like you just don't draw what you need to draw, and you get kind of blanked.
Yep, keep a risky one lander,
Mm-hmm. Depends
while
on how
on the
risky
way
it
to
is, but
while on six.
yeah,
Sometimes you're gonna, hit the fail case, and this is the fail case.
for sure, for sure. Um, okay, so yeah, he's just crashing in with the beasts, and this is not a very slow clock. If I were to guess, looking at the time left in the video, either he's gonna get blown up real quick, or the beasts are gonna take it down. Um, Given that he has 8 life represented on the table plus 9 damage a turn, I'm gonna spoil it for the audience here, and it looks like it's probably in Rock's favor here.
Yep, I don't really see myself winning here. I'm fairly certain I didn't,
Your out
but
here would be for Nate to draw more non-basics and then just draw a bunch of price of progresses. That would be
yeah,
really
I
good.
mean I'm going upstairs with the bolt
Yep.
and the lava man. I
Yeah.
put him to 12.
Yeah, you're pumping out that damage. You definitely are. And he would have been at 8 if it wasn't for the previous Baloth sack.
Hmm.
The fact that he's attacking with both, I mean, he's comfortable with life anyway, but he's probably got another creature here or something. He's
Yeah,
the nightmare, nightmare
yeah, but
out wall. I don't know.
I mean, this is where Recurring Nightmare is just an absolute all-star because
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm able to draw enough burn spells to prompt him to sacrifice both the Baloth and the Blastoderm, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the Blastoderm still, at this point, it's got 2 counters left on it.
Yeah.
But even if I can prompt him to sack those ahead of time, any creature he draws
Just turns into
means
another
he's
thing.
gaining
Yeah.
4 life in addition to whatever that card gets on the ETB.
Yep. Yep. For those of you that are not savvy with Blastoderm, Blastoderm has a mechanic called Fading. Also, Shroud, which more people are probably familiar with. But Fading is an ability where enters with X counters. In this case, it's 3. Tangawire is another famous Fading card. In addition to the Parallax enchantments, there's a bunch of Fading cards that are relevant in pre-modern. But Blastoderm removes a counter every turn, and then when you cannot remove a counter, then it gets sacrificed. So what's kind of cool is with the Blastoderm, you can remove the last counter, trigger that sacrifice, and then sacrifice it to Ravenous Baloth, gaining 4 life, and then just getting full value out of it. Or you can sacrifice it to Cobalt Therapy after you run out of counters. There's just a lot you can do with the Blastoderm. The
Exactly.
the most challenging thing though is getting to that 4th mana, which it sounds easy to do between like Wall of Roots and playing a good chunk of lands, but 4 is a big number. 4 is a very big number, bigger than 2 in fact.
Yeah, 4 is bigger than 2. I recently found that out, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I do now.
Mm-hmm. It's important to know. You hit the 3rd land, but ugh,
Yeah, I hit the 3rd land, but I'm
it's just nothing to do with it. Like yeah, you just
pretty
you
much
cast
dead.
Ball Lightning and attack, and then you're just dead on board because he's got a beast to sacrifice and not
Yeah,
die.
and there's a treetop village.
Yeah. The Shootout Village is tapped though. Oh no, yeah, but yeah, something that's for blocking. I was thinking, yeah, for attacking. Yeah, no, you're right, you're right. Because yeah, you go to 3. Yeah, I don't think I see a way out for you. Yeah. You got to
Yeah,
go for it though.
but
Yeah. Maybe he forgets he has a treetop village. That's the thing that happens sometimes. So you go to 3, Kraken for 8, which would be lethal, but he's representing 8 life on the board.
yeah, the
Um,
problem is here, even though the life total has him currently at 8, he's
mhm.
at 16,
Technically 16, yeah.
which isn't great.
So he sacks the Bailoff. I think I would have sacrificed the Blaster and then the Bailoff just to be safe against a potential Fire Blast.
Yeah, but in
Um,
response to him sacrificing the Ravenous Baloth, I conceded.
that's fair. That is a thing you're allowed to do.
So,
It was just that, yeah. I mean, if you didn't have the Fire Blast, then it wouldn't matter either way. But um,
yeah. I just wanted to increase the cast count of that ball lightning by 1. That's really what the goal was there. But
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
beautiful ball
I
lightning
mean
too. I
this.
like those foil ones.
Yeah, I got to finish up the play set, but
Mm-hmm.
a classic 8 wall, 8 walls, very much built to stop burn version
Yes.
of the rock
Yep.
versus weird hybrid ish burn. But
Yeah. So if your deck was built differently, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like that rock deck. I don't know if I specifically tried to tailor it against burn, but it definitely did turn out that way. Um, I maybe you want like sulfuric vortex 5 and 6. I don't know. I
yeah,
don't.
I
I don't know
mean
what
that
changes
would
in
be
there that make
nice.
that easier. I think this is just a nightmare matchup for burn. It just seems that way.
Yeah, fair enough. I it's I don't see too many worlds where I'm able to beat the combination of Recurring Nightmare and Ravenous Baloth assembled.
Yeah, I think the world that you want to live in is one in which you play sulfuric vortex on 3, and then you're playing a much more
Mm,
honest game because like he has 4/4s and 5/5s, but they don't gain him 4 life in addition to doing you a boatload of damage. So, um,
yeah,
just something to keep in mind next time. Draw your sulfuric vortexes and cast them, and you should be in much better shape.
that's fair. You know what, Carl? I'm really glad that we were able to talk and I could learn this lesson today
I'm
because you
here.
know
I'm,
what?
I'm here to provide the hard hitting commentary and lessons. So glad it could help.
Yeah.
But
But I
yeah.
drew a bunch of drew a bunch of sulfuric vortexes at
Mhm.
the 1K that we
Oh,
had.
well, that's
So
good. So we'll have to see some of those matches at some point too. I don't know if we have any on camera, but we might. I'll have to go back into the archives and see what we got going on. But
yeah,
uh,
I do not remember being on camera, but it was a great time.
it was, yeah. And we've got our monthly coming up next weekend too, which is good
All right, yeah.
because the first is on Sunday, so that'll be the first Sunday of the month. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching, and the deck lists, as I told Ryan, are in the description. As you know, I guess the deck picks aren't there; they're in the beginning of the video, but the deck list will be in the description. I always put Moxfield list for each deck that I have a list for in the description so you can go back and reference them and kind of do whatever. Um, so for Ryan and myself, thanks so much and have a good one. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.